Halo Infinite, the game that can make or break this franchise's legacy. You know, every time I turn around, there's like good news and bad news surrounding this game. Good news? The game is going to reflect more of its original art style. Yes! Bad news? The game looks like shit. More bad news? The game is delayed, which leads into potential good news, like they can work on it so we don't get an entirely shit game. So that's a plus, right? All this uncertainty is giving me a headache, and it makes me think back to the other Halo games that were made, and which one I consider to be the best one. And obviously, I'm referring to the classic Halo 4. I swear, I can already hear the outcry of angry, triggered Halo fans. What? How could you say that? Halo 4 was trash! Here's the thing. I don't think it is, and compared to its predecessors, I think it's the best Halo game we have to date. And despite what naysayers will, naysay, I will still make my case. Look, in my eyes, the campaign defines the game, alright? So if your story is trash, the game is trash. And Halo 4's campaign was the most fleshed out story we've ever gotten out of the series. Now, some of you are probably saying, oh, what about Halo 3 and Reach? Those games have fleshed out campaigns. Fuck. But, truth be told, I disagree. I honestly find these campaigns to be very weak. Look, they're not terrible games, but my biggest issue with them is that the characters within these games have no depth, and if they do, they get thrown out the window. People like to make the case that FPS campaigns are best when the protagonist is silent, so that you are put in the shoes of the hero. I disagree. When you make your hero a mute, unfeeling puppet, you deprive the campaign of emotional weight. Now, it's true in most of the Halo games, the Master Chief is usually silent, but he actually has quite the personality.
On occasion.
From funny one-liners,
Sleep well?
No thanks to your driving, yes.
head bumps,
Oh, I see. The coordinate data needs to be... Right. Sorry.
intentionally crashing a ship,
You did that on purpose, didn't you?
intentionally crashing into a ship,
For a brick, he flew pretty good.
to even bro-fisting through a metal wall of a drop pod.
You're on your own.
Understood.
The Master Chief has always had a caring and loving side, a side of undoubted loyalty. That is what separates Master Chief from Noble Team. While these guys couldn't care less if their teammates die, Chief has always shown great concern. And that human aspect of Chief is far more present in Halo 4 than in any other game. But it doesn't feel out of character, because it's not brought out on its own. It's brought out by the people Chief interacts with. And each character represents a different side of what it means to be human. About being a good man, a good soldier, being spiteful, dedicated, and being a good friend to someone who doesn't have long. Chief's humanity has never seen so much light, and the best part about it is that this wasn't a one-moment thing, it's the entire game. From constantly having to comfort Cortana, to disobeying a direct order, to this brilliant interaction between Chief and a scientist amidst the Didact's attack.
It took 3 months, and the biggest starship the UNSC could throw at it just to relocate it here. Unless you're a lot stronger than you look. It's not going anywhere.
Can you give Cortana access to the station's supply manifest?
What for?
If we can't move the composer, we have to make sure the Didact can't either.
Oh, wait. We have years of work invested here.
Inventory lists 7 excavation-grade Havoc mines. Just one of those would turn this base into a piñata.
I'm sorry, Doctor. Keep routing your people to the evac centers. Once we take care of the composer, you won't have much time.
I'll make sure the nukes are primed so you can detonate them remotely. Maybe next time you rescue us, you can give us more time to pack.
Next time.
Out of everything that has ever happened in Halo, this is my absolute favorite scene. But why? Why this? There's no explosions, no epic fights, no revelations. So why is it my favorite? Well, by the time Halo 4 came out, we were so used to just running past civilians and other soldiers when it came to fighting the Covenant. And though this wasn't the first time we met someone who was caught in the crossfire, it is definitely a lot more complex. Blowing up your base is nothing new to Chief, but for Dr. Tilson, the idea is just devastating. I mean, faced with death, giving up her work is the hardest thing Dr. Tilson can do right now. And though we might feel bad for her, we still have a mission to accomplish. Seeing how these two handle the situation differently really drives home the theme of what it means to be human. If Chief is actually a man or a machine.
Time was your ally, human. But now it has abandoned you. The Foreigners have returned.
Having a Forerunner be the main antagonist was a really great idea. I mean, as cool as Tartarus, the Prophets, and the Greymine were, they never really branched out beyond, we hate humans because reasons shtick. The Didact, though, has some pretty good reasons, I think. This guy believes the humans are the reasons the Forerunners lost to the Flood all those years ago, and in turn, caused the death of every living organic thing in the galaxy. I mean, the Forerunners were supposed to be the protectors of, like, everything, and they fucking lost! So not only does he blame the death of his people on humans, but to top it all off, the other Forerunners actually left the responsibility of protecting the universe to mankind. Because, while the Forerunners thought the humans were just going around destroying planets, they were actually trying to stop the Flood from spreading across the stars. This is why I like the Didact as the villain, because for the first time ever, it's personal. Not only that, but Didact's backstory gives the core Halo games a lot more context. In all the other Halo games, the humans were the only ones who could interact with Forerunner tech, and was constantly referred to as Reclaimers by the monitors. What you reclaiming there, buddy? Is it the gifts of the Forerunners? Now I know people had problems with the Prometheans saying stuff like, it's not Halo. Well, was it still Halo when alien zombies came out of nowhere in Halo 1? What about the introduction of space gorillas in Halo 2? The giant flying mech thing? The piranha plant, for God's sake? These fucking things! The fact of the matter is that Halo has never shied away from trying out new things. It's what they do. And yes, I miss teabagging physical corpses, but I still think the Prometheans are a fine addition. So let's recap why this campaign is so awesome. You got your classic enemies and some brand new ones to stir up the pot. You got a story that expands the universe while also giving context to the previous stories told. And you got an abundance of characters, old and new, with a whole lot of depth. And these complex characters won't go away just because you're playing single player. I'm looking at you, Arbiter from Halo 3. Now that I covered the campaign, it's time to switch over to the more controversial thing about Halo 4. Okay, let me start off by saying yes, the kill cams suck, and yes, Spartan Ops also sucks, okay? I fully admit that. They should have just kept Firefight. Now that we have that out of the way, let's begin. I think Halo 4 has the best multiplayer. What are you doing? Hey, stop! Shit. Look, most of the things in Halo 4's multiplayer that people cry foul on was first introduced by the other games. There's different loadouts. Yes, and so was there in Halo Reach, and no, that was only on specific game modes though. Yes, and in specific game modes in Halo 4, the loadouts are the same. The new weapons are uninspired and lazy. Right, because the other games have always made useful weapons that weren't duplicates of others. Right, okay. The weapons are imbalanced. Okay, I strongly disagree with this one, because that would mean that there would be a gun that everyone would overuse, like the Magnum in Halo 1 or the DMR in Reach. But in this game, no one gun outranks the rest. Every weapon has a give and take aspect to it. Want to be precise? Use the DMR, but just be aware it might take you a little bit longer to get your kill, and if someone catches you off guard and you have no cover, you're done for. Or if you want to knock off their shields a little bit faster, you can always rock the battle rifle, but you have less control and you can't see as far away. And then you got the assault rifle. Now in most Halo games, the assault rifles suck ass, but not in this one. Now it's pretty obvious you're at a disadvantage if you're further away from the other player, but if you get close enough to your opponent, they don't stand a chance. While they're struggling to shoot you with their precision weapons, your bullets will rip them to bits. See, I can go on and on about every single weapon inside the game, and that's the best part about it. No matter how you play, you have an equal opportunity to take down the other players. But it's just too much like Call of Duty. Oh really? Okay, what makes it play like Call of Duty exactly, huh? Is it how high you jump? Is it the iconic weaponry that's been a part of Halo since forever? Is it the shields, the futuristic maps, the armor suits, the armor abilities? What exactly do you see to where you could possibly compare these two totally different games? The kill streaks and perk systems? Oh. Right. Okay, yeah. You got me. Those two things aren't really like our other Halo games. But even then, the ability to have different loadouts with this perk system is dependent on what game mode you're playing. And it's not like your ordnance drops, aka your kill streaks, is giving you like UAVs or airstrikes, but rather power weapons and power-ups, which has also been a staple in the Halo games. All I'm saying is, even if they borrow mechanics from other games, they don't rely too heavily on them. And that's why at its core, it's still Halo to me. Big Team Slayer is still as chaotic as ever. SWAT still requires cat-like reflexes. You're still filled with adrenaline when you're trying to survive the infection. And it's still super satisfying to hear game over and seeing that your team has won. Bonus point, sound. The sounds in this game are simply amazing. And you know, I've always had an issue with how light the Spartans sounded in the previous games. Like, how was that guy in full armor plating walking around so silently? Hi-ya! Haha, nice. Bet you didn't hear that coming. But then you take a listen to Halo 4, and whammo! It's like a whole new world. You gotta take a big leap?
Gee, that was fun. Ugh, I'm hurt, but I lived.
Call me sadistic, but I want to hear the brutality in the assassination.
Yeah, take this. Yeah. Come here, you dirty little bitch.
And I want the guns that I'm firing to have some beef.
Yeah. I believe it's my turn. That's how you shoot a gun. I am so confused.
I know this is all based on preference, but I just wanted to acknowledge the sound because I truly believe it is in its prime here. I've been a Halo fan all my life. Since Combat Evolved released on the original Xbox. I'm not praising this game because I'm new to the franchise. I'm praising this game because, despite the hate, it gets so many things right. Is Halo 4 perfect? No. No, it's not. Does it get enough recognition, though? Hell no! And that's a damn shame, too. I think the reason why people hate Halo 4 so much is because it looks so different from the original art style. And I get that. Honestly, I do. But that alone shouldn't undermine this remarkable game. The multiplayer still had great gunplay, an abundance of thrilling game modes, and great maps to play on. And while the campaign had you saving humanity once again, the thing that keeps this story grounded and far above the rest is the focus on the bonds between its characters. I've put my faith in 343 before, and at times it was great, and other times not so much. I just hope Halo Infinite's one of the goodies. But if not, that's okay, because at least I can return to what I consider to be the best Halo game ever made. If it's been a while since you played through Halo 4, I highly recommend you do so again. Who knows? Maybe you might like it this time around.
The Didact has to be stopped. If you won't do that, I will.
I am ordering you to surrender that AI!
No, sir.
The fighter's shields aren't rated for slip space.
No, but the Didacts are.
I monitored the data pulse. I could hear them. What was left of them?
Come then, warrior. Have your resolution.
I will not allow you to leave this planet!
We have asked you to give up your family, your childhood, your future.
It was my job to take care of you.
We were supposed to take care of each other. And we did. Welcome home, John.
Sorry if I said anything that made you mad or upset. I didn't mean anything by it, I just wanted to share my input. Everything I said was just an opinion. A different opinion.